A lot of light pollution as usual. I mean, right behind me, cloudy out and no sign of the moon. It is approximately 2100 hours and 7 minutes, and I am standing in front of the front door, and I've already downloaded the application needed to keep record for walking fitness. It's an application I've already downloaded like a decade ago, maybe 20 years ago, because they have different ones, but you only need the main one because it's just GPS, and you could track walking, running, biking, but they have custom ones just for biking and custom ones just for walking, but the main one is really the one that you need. Nonetheless, I'm about to hit the sidewalk. Trying to try to do a power walk for 3.5 kilometers, and I gotta get to my destination at 2200 hours. And like I said, right now it's probably like 21 hours and 8 minutes, maybe. All right, wish me luck. Class 101, avoiding deadly weapons in an urban environment. We just saw one on our left and one coming up on our left, but the lights were not on, so they are not coming out, moving from where they are. Okay, something, unless you are actually doing this walk, that you wouldn't realize, the floor is very slippery. So you have to be careful how you thread, like each step. If you take long fast steps, like with power walk, you have to do it very carefully, or you can slip and fall, and that could be serious injury. I already started seeing deadly weapons, but I'm gonna acknowledge them right now. Deadly weapon, deadly weapon, deadly weapon, deadly weapon. Because sun is down, you have to keep your eyes out on the white lights or red and white lights. That is going to be the number one. But also, just in general, if you see a vehicle in an environment where it's near its garage, or it's where it's normally parked at, or in a parking lot, if it's an older vehicle, like an old classic vehicle before they had the floodlights, it could move without any lights on. So obviously safety is number one. That is why we are avoiding said deadly weapons. Now, even if someone injures you without intent, it's still considered with a deadly weapon, because that's what it is to someone who is a pedestrian or riding a bicycle, and is also sharing the same space and time as that killing deadly instrument. All right, up to the top left, on the left, right now on the immediate left, that border was more clear before. It was the bushes. When you passed the bushes, you knew you were entering private property. The bushes have been trimmed recently, but if you were not aware of it, you should be aware of it now, because on the immediate right, you do see villa-style housings. Do not be fooled, because these are not single-family homes. They are just as good, and they are just as comfortable and they may even provide a better quality of life than single family homes. Personal opinion, I used to live in the townhouse style housing in Pembroke. It's not Pembroke Lakes, I believe it's Pembroke front. I forget the exact name. It was Johnson Street and Northwest 108th Avenue. I used to think it was Pembroke Lakes, but no. Pembroke Lakes is exclusive to just about 4 American style blocks. American style means it's a mile from east to west. From north to south, not necessarily. Now, when you do walk on a sidewalk that is exactly a whole mile and it's supposed to be a straight sidewalk, if you pay close attention, when you're around halfway, the engineers that have to design, like, or just put down the concrete for that sidewalk, they take into account the curvature of space, but just by a fraction. If you walk it enough times, you will eventually see where the sidewalk, there's a slight angle and the sidewalk actually has a small curvature. You have to walk it many times, and you have to pay very close attention. And it has to be a sidewalk that goes completely straight. It's supposed to resemble flat and straight ground. After a whole mile, which is considered, I forget exactly how many steps. I know it's 2,000 steps. I looked it up. 1 6/10 kilometer. I googled it. So it is 1,600 meters, but feet I cannot think at the moment. Now, I did say this was private property. The individuals that live here, if I do disturb their peace or do anything that is unlawful, they have the right to either themselves or they can call the police to do so, to escort me off of these premises. But as long as I'm just using the sidewalk to do my heaven-given right, which is to be in heaven and exercise my right to walk, which is a beautiful, and it is a blessing that we are blessed with if we are able to have 2 legs and walk with them and use those said 2 legs to get from one place that we are to another place where we need to be. This walk is to parallel and to observe how long it takes to walk to a place where I may have an opportunity for formal employment in the future. It depends on if they call me back and grant me an interview. That is the next step that I am waiting for. If you would like to say a prayer or visualize for me, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That deadly weapon that passed by, it was approximately 2 meters to my left. There's a barrier. You see that grass? I say 2 meters is about like 6 to 8 feet width, and that is what separates, and the trees as well, separates the deadly weapons that pass by. That one right there had passed at approximately 50-60 kilometers per hour. So you saw how quick it was going. At that speed, it could kill you. If that car was any bigger than it was, that was a regular vehicle. If that was a truck, it could definitely kill you at that speed. The chances are substantially higher. So yes, this sidewalk, just how you see how it's clear, there are places where water builds up. I must maintain the sidewalk in the front of the house that is owned by my king and queen. I must maintain that sidewalk as well. Also clean and clear. Example would be like any palm fronds that may have fell, excessive sand or dust, or any seeds that fall from a tree, or one that is very dangerous. If mold builds up, mold is dangerous because if people walk fast across it, they can slip and they can fall. If you find spaces that are uneven between the sections, if that is the case, you contact the city so that they can send people out that do handle concrete work, and they take care of that themselves. Because after that work is done, first they have to permit the work to be done, and then they have to acknowledge that it was done and it meets code. Just going to say a thing really quick. If you are using an instrument to get yourself from A to B, such as a mini scooter, or for a bicycle, it's actually to the left far. The law that you need to have this after the sun falls are on roads that are just too far. Lights, like a front light that indicate that's white, and then a backlight that is like red. They sell them in most stores. If you do not have access to one, just at the least grab a flashlight from home and use that flashlight so that it shines in the front, and vehicles can, at least they see the light. If you are going to ride the bicycle on the road and you only have a flashlight, shine it maybe towards the side and stay all the way to either on the bicycle lane or the first 3 feet of the utmost right lane, which is where bicycles are supposed to be allowed to ride. But if it doesn't even have a bicycle lane and you don't have the proper lights for the night, I would just not ride on that road. But if you have no choice and no options and you do not know the area well and you only have a flashlight, you can shine the flashlight on the ground to the immediate left of you. And most cars, when they look ahead on the road, they will notice that light that is moving, because if you're riding a bike on a street, usually gives you adrenaline, and that adrenaline boosts up your energy, and it allows you to usually ride at a speed that's faster than you normally would. Because if you're riding at a faster speed, if a deadly weapon does hit you, depending on what type of grade of deadly weapon it is, if you are going fast, your chances of being seriously injured are less than if you were at a standstill or just going slow in general. Because just like the theory of relativity, if you were moving at the same speed as the vehicle, to you as the observer, it would seem like that vehicle is not moving. And to the vehicle, if they didn't look at your tires, they would look at you, the individual, and you would look like you were not moving either. But because you are traveling at a different speed than the car, obviously the car is going to pass you. But if you maintain a pretty decent speed, again, if you must ride on a road here in suburban United States. All of the United States is car centric except for, I believe, like DC, Washington, and maybe like Boston. Just in the 13 colonies, there was a few cities that were built that still have the same layout, and that layout was made pre-cars. And so those are the only cities that were not built originally to be car centric, and those are the only cities that provide a little sense of like scale, allows you to feel more like you belong to be there as a human being, as a person. You don't feel so much anxiety of just walking and going to a place and using a walk to get there and thinking that this is practical. No, unfortunately, this is not really practical. But because I am in a dire situation, I have to do what I have to do, and that this is okay, because as long as you got the spirit inside of you, with love, all things are possible. In the descriptions, maybe I'll see what links I can provide. Do not take anything that I say as any legal anything that presides like that is to be observed as a legality. But I do believe that the law states that a bicycle rider at night that uses the same road and shares it with vehicles must have lights. If I remember correctly, you do not have lights, stick to the sidewalk. And the police may and can pull you over, and they will if you drive without having lights. I'll try to give credit. I don't know what other things I have to give credit for, if I'm going to put a song or anything, but yes, love, all things are possible. Credit for that. That's from the New Testament, the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26. Bollocks. Well, hope that brings him joy. Since I am not in our original, or in the original Bollocks island that was across from I forget what that little isle is called, because my ancestry dates back from the Iberian Peninsula mostly, but for the people who inhabited North America or claimed North America, aside from our neighbors to the north, yes, that is a vulgar word. I do apologize, but I was watching The Boys, and I do highly recommend it. Season 4, I want to say it's the first half, because it's only 5 episodes. Bullocks. That's The Witcher. He mentions that word a lot, so I had it on my mind. And since I am based in the United States. Here in the States, that is not vulgar yet. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I think that an American block is usually a mile in one direction. Here where I live is from east to west, so since when I started and I crossed that first street where there was two deadly weapons approaching me from the left, and none from the right, up to this deadly intersection of deadly weapons, got to go. It's a full mile. Right now, I got the red. I'm coming across, but it's not good for me on the other side to get to where I want to get. All right, so I'm seeing this car's going straight. Both of those cars are stopped. The cars that are turning will be the first ones to get the green. See? Turning left to get the greens. So, let's make it safe. No cars from here. Alright. Made it to this side without getting hit by a deadly weapon. This sidewalk's a little bit wider. I'm gonna go back to 25 zoom. I must be honest, in my personal experience, some people would like to say it's down to luck, but luck, people who are successful in life know that luck is bestowed on everyone. It's the ones that are prepared when that moment comes that take advantage of it. But when I noticed as I got to that intersection, I was rather close, even though it was just a small division between me and the instruments that could kill me. I guess I exercised my faith. I remember in particularly the Psalm 23 is the Psalm of David, and I've shown it in prior videos, but if you do not recall it, the first verse, I will not read it out loud, but it teaches you that as long as you have the Spirit with you, nothing is missing from your life. Second verse teaches you that, and when I say nothing is missing, that means absolutely nothing, and that includes protection from others or harm. Second verse teaches you that the Spirit provides rest and guides you to the rest and to the place where you need to get such rest for your soul, and also restores your soul. Just quick side note, while I was speaking about that psalm a little earlier, I spoke out loud. It was in case you did not notice, why the ground was particularly wet from right to left. Sprinklers were on the right side, on the gardening that was used for that particular housing development. You're welcome. Awesome. Bicycles. They were well good. Light, bell. They're doing a lot better than I can say for myself. I'll take a bike out. That doesn't even have brakes. Yes, I have gone through a lot of bikes, and one did not have brakes because that's how it was built. Another couple did not have brakes, and that's because I ride bikes until they are no longer. Entry-level bicycles from a shop, which are bicycles that are in the range of around $1,000 nowadays, I imagine, due to inflation. Used to be around 600 to 800. Those bikes do last longer and will probably last me 10 to 15 years. Okay. Oh, earth mover. I didn't see that. I was so focused on the sidewalk. Look at another earth mover. They'll leave the keys on there, so if you know how to operate those things, but you ain't getting far, and then they probably have GPS, and they probably have like a special thing that shuts them off when without being started properly. I don't know, I imagine. Or they just stop leaving the keys in there altogether because maybe people were trying to like use the lift, you know, a little basket and try to lift it and whatnot and learn how to use it without any instruction, just pulling on the different levers. At least that's what I used to do when I was a little kid. Okay, I don't have any water. I should wash my bounce out, rinse it out. I took some medication that you're supposed to keep it under your tongue. Ugh. And then when you're done, like right now, I could tell it's dissolved because it's I don't have a like the film, which is like a lozenge. So it's just like a tablet, but if you swallow it, the end, like all of the bacteria your gut bacteria, the enzymes in your guts, and whatever that creates digestion will break the pill down, and bioavailability, the effective of the active ingredient is practically zero. You know what's effective in it. Okay, up there, sidewalk ends. I'm not gonna go in there. That's a long way. I gotta go into a neighborhood, just exit out of the way. Alright, so let's look at all these deadly weapons, these projectiles. Let's see if we have a break. That big box right there, you see the thing on top of this. Hiring operators, not in service. Alright, we have a break. Look on the other side. There's a break over there too. They're all the way over there. So I could run it, I could sprint, run, make it to the other side. And here's the sidewalk, back to safety. Right now, my earphones are both east to my ear, but I don't have anything playing on them. No music, no book, nothing. More than anything, it just helps to block out a lot of block out noise, excessive noise, and it keeps my earbuds in, which will keep the mic close to my mouth. So since I do not have like any type of professional mic, just the earbuds that come with an iPhone. I don't even know if the new iPhones even come with earbuds. I think you have to buy them. Yes, you do. I remember, because the last time I remember having to buy earbuds for $30 with the lightning jack. After they stopped taking the 3.5mm jack, and it was just lightning jack only. And now it isn't even lightning jack. Now it's USB-C, because the EU, aka European Union, which is like the equivalent of the United States, but it's not a sovereign state. It's just an economic and like governmental agreement. It's like let's say like a binding constitution of laws that are agreed upon a group of nations that encompass, one, they must be within the European continent. 2, they must meet certain criteria. 3, if they ask to join the European Union, they must be accepted by every single nation that is already in the European Union. If one single nation says no, then the nation that wants to join it is not welcome until every single nation says yes. So for instance, there was a country recently I wanted to join, but Turkey, I believe, one of the countries that is already part of the EU, they said no. Which means that Turkey must meet the strict criteria when it comes to a lot of different things, whether it be where they can import, where they can export, the quality of the things that they can export, and like how they brand things, how yada yada yada, all different types of logistics and prices, materials, quality, a lot of different things. It's all governed by the EU. So back before we had Donnie Don, crooked, what's a good name for Donnie Don now that he's a convicted felon? Maybe we Wicked. Call him, all right, so Wicked Donnie. Plaza. This is Cooper City Commons. This is the back entrance. Or so, Big Mouth Donnie. Through a road. I'd rather enter through a sidewalk. I know there is a sidewalk coming up right here. I believe there is 2. There might be one by this bank right here. There's a Chase Bank, and or there might be one over there by the Shell, or it might be in between the 2 establishments. I'll go into that sidewalk, and then I will look. It's right here. There's one right here in front of the Chase Bank. Now, unfortunately, no more sidewalk for me, but all these businesses are closed. This Chase Bank is closed. That's only open right there. The vestibule is open for customers only. So you must swipe your card. You must swipe your card, and then you can open the door. It locks behind you, and then you have access to the automatic teller machine. which we just say ATM. That was I fancy that was one of the first computers that was like very widely used. Here's a drive-through ATM, so you can take a look at. It's got like buttons on one side, I imagine, and you put your card in. It's got a screen. The screen might be touch screen, and of course, like I said, it's drive-through. So it's supposed to be, you know, since over here the driver's side is on the left, the driver just pulls up to it and does his transactions. Pulling out cash late at night, you're not doing anything good. There's the petrol station. That one right there is a Shell. All right, and this is the start of the plaza. These are the stores. Cooper City Commons. Again, Cooper City Commons. This is, you could say this is the first location, but this is a separate building. This is storage, public storage. This is very popular in the States because people here, we have a lot of excess, a lot of junk. We can't even fit it into our homes, and we live in suburban homes, which are already big as they are. All right, chiropractor. That's a phony doctor, but they fought really hard to be recognized as regular doctors, and they won. Miracle Dental Center. That's why I always say this is a DDS. The placebo effect is real. The placebo effect is real, and that's actually straight ahead of me. The door right in front of me. If I walk straight, that is where I'm going to. That is Publix. This was Edgar's location where he used to cut hair. My brother-in-law Edgar, forgive me if I said bad things about you in the past. At the end of the day, you are the father of Sophia and of Sebastian. So whatever happened between you and my sister, that does not affect my niece and my nephew, and that's what is important. And nothing petty, like, you know, my sister, her feelings, she will get through them, and she has. And our father, he has told me that she is doing phenomenal, which really actually made my my season. So it made my 90 days. That was in my made my spring, because I found out about it, I believe, after winter, because winter hasn't ended yet. All right, here I am. All right, I made it. Where's the address? So I can show you guys. 9359, I think. Yep, here it is. 9359 Sheridan Street. All right, if you live in the 33026 or bordering zip codes, yes, send a text and or message one of these videos, probably faster. This is my little baby, bless her soul. She is my motivation for why I want to enslave myself under formal employment, no matter the case, because she has put so much hard effort and work in her schoolwork, and I need to be the best dad I can be. Thanks for watching, and thank you everybody for your support.